Welcome back to Byline. You may have heard it's getting hot in here. In fact, last week, NASA told the whole world that 2014 was the warmest year on Earth since 1880. Except it wasn't. Now NASA admits there's only a 38% chance that this is true. Dr. Tim Ball joins us now from Victoria to discuss this. Dr. Ball, I don't understand what they mean that we're 38% sure that what we definitively said is accurate. Explain this.
Well, yeah, I'm certain that I'm not certain. And of course, this is the game they've been playing all along, that they put out a number to get the headline, 2014, the warmest year on record, but then come the qualifiers. And what you find out, what they did was they had the explanation of 38% sure, which means, by the way, that they're 62% unsure of the record. And what that is a measure of their statistical probabilities analysis. So they come up with a number, and then they say, well, how sure are we of this number? And they're saying, well, we're only 38% sure that the number is accurate. In other words, it's meaningless. But their game is to get the headline. That's the game.
All right. So, yeah. But the problem is, of course, is that they want all kinds of actions to flow from this in terms of combating global warming or climate change, whatever they want to call it. If your doctor said to you, Dr. Ball, Tim, we think you've got this. I'm 38% sure, and I'm going to recommend radical surgery. What would you say?
Well, exactly, and that's the whole point. I mean, even with a political poll, you know, they say, well, it's within plus or minus 4%. Anything outside of that, you don't even pay attention to. And yet here they are demanding that the world take on extreme energy policies of huge implication to everybody in the world based on this stuff. But they've been doing it from the start. This is the name of the game. And the other thing is, of course, that they found out at Lima, Peru, at the recent climate conference, that nobody's listening to them anymore.
Yeah, this is a low priority. I want to get to that, but I want to play a clip of NASA last week making this pronouncement and you know, see if there's any qualifiers in what they say here. Let's listen in.
In 2014, the Midwestern U.S. experienced a cold winter, but parts of Western U.S. hit record high temperatures. When looking at decades worth of data, the ranking of 2014 as the hottest year reinforces the long-term trend of rising global temperatures, a trend driven by the increase of carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere.
And so, Tim, that's video put out by NASA. There's no wavering in that, and there's no reference to the fact that the temperature, this trend they talk about, that there's been no warming since, what was it, 98?
Yeah, 98. We're into 19 years now, and that's another part of their problem. You see, and they dealt with that politically, too, because they were saying, oh, well, CO2 is going up and the temperature is going up, and that will continue. Then suddenly the CO2 continued to go up and the temperature started to go down. So instead of going and looking at their science that was wrong, they said, oh, well, we'll stop calling it global warming and start calling it climate change. So this is their difficulty, that Mother Nature isn't playing along with their political games of using climate for a political agenda.
All right, I want to show the viewers a cartoon that you sent me earlier today, and it shows someone freezing in the snow, and it says, if we can drop that at the bottom, it says, we're expecting another 8 to 12 inches of global warming today. Is that why, and we can show the polls here, we've got the UN poll from Ipsos, we've got the American poll of policies, that fewer and fewer people think that action taken on climate change is what they really care about?
Well, exactly, and that's another reason why they're raising the heat, to coin a phrase appropriately. They realize that the public are simply not buying into this anymore, and that what they're afraid of then is that the politicians will start to listen to the public for a change and stop all of these draconian energy policies like Obama's introducing. So what do? They've got to come out and falsify and misdirect, which is what they did with that NASA conference. Incidentally, the person who's in charge of NASA GIS, who made that public statement, not the woman that read it, but Gavin Schmidt, he's the director, he was exposed in all those leaked emails from East Anglia. Gavin Schmidt was at the very center of all of that corruption at East Anglia, and yet he's now in charge of NASA GIS.
Well, I am less than 38% sure, Tim, that they're going to listen to you and common sense on this. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, yeah, because common sense isn't very common. Thank you, Brian.
SunNewsNetwork.ca, the place to go for all the headlines you need to follow, the real ones anyway. More to come.